guys, happy Thursday. Hope everything's going well. In my eyes, we are really killing it so far with the virtual. I think day one, I maybe only missed a couple assignments. Tuesday and Wednesday, we crushed it. I'm getting everything turned in. I'm getting good feedback from you guys. I'm just really happy. Oh no. Ooh, I'm watching the Cubs game. Getting really good feedback from you guys. I'm very positive start to all of this because it's all so different. I just think it's going really smooth so far. All right, so you have done your Fantastic Five, which gives you a little bit of a preview of what you're going to look at today. And I'm kind of bummed about this specific lesson because in class, it's going to be so much more hands-on, and I wish you guys were there every day, but today's a day where I really do wish you were going to be in class because what we're going to do is going to be a fun activity, and it just really helps you understand the line plots a little bit better than maybe this video will. I think you'll still have a good understanding of it, but I got to kind of adapt some things for this specific lesson. So we'll come up with the data just as we go. But you've seen line plots, you saw them in Fam 5, and it's very similar to a frequency table because it does chart how frequently something happens. And if you're looking at this line plot specifically, obviously we don't know what it's measuring. It doesn't have a title. We could say it's measuring how many hours of sleep you got last night. And it could be 4 hours through 9 hours. And the X's all represent how many people got that many hours of sleep. The way that it's a little bit different than maybe a bar graph is on a bar graph, you've got a scale where you could survey 100 people and you could do 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. Normally, when you've got a line plot, you're going to want it to be less than, it says 25 numbers on here. To me, that's still a lot. Somewhere between maybe 0 and 20, because you don't want to stretch out this line plot a lot, and you don't want to have a scale on a line plot either. You don't want to have count by fives on a line plot because you might have 2, 3, 4 as an option. That's why I usually do bar graphs with bigger numbers. So anything you can do a smaller number with just a scale of 1, normally you'll toss that on a line plot, which we're going to look at a couple here in just a second. So if you're looking at this line plot, this one we actually know what we're measuring. You can see it only goes from 29 to 40, so you got a small range of numbers there, and you see what we're measuring by looking at the title. So you can look at and know that you're measuring how many times people could jump on one leg. So if you're looking right here, one person could do it 29 times. You ended up having a few people that could do it 40 times. The question is asking, what type of data is this, numerical or categorical? So a review back to Monday. If you're answering this question, how many times you could jump on one leg, think about the answers you could possibly say. Are you going to give a number or are you going to give a word? You're going to give a category. Okay, so if you're looking at that, it's going to be numerical. And if you can even look here, how many times did these 3 people jump? 35. That's numerical data. And based on this data, what do you think these X's and numbers represent? Well, we just said it at the bottom. At the bottom that's how many times they could jump. And those X's actually represent the people, which you have right here, the number of students who jumped. So the one thing that I really want to focus on for this lesson specifically, which is really the same for all the graphs that we've looked at, I want you to be able to interpret this data. I'm not really worried about you creating them, but I want you to be able to look at them and answer a boatload of questions, which you're going to get some practice on that in just a second. An example of that, if I'm looking right here, and in class, we're going to come up with some questions, and I actually gave an example. One question you could ask is right here. It says how many people were able to one-legged jump more than 36 times? This question, if I change one word, it completely changes the answer. So if I want to know more than 36 times, obviously I know I'm going to start somewhere around here, but more than 36 does not include 36. That just means I need to look at 37, 38, 39, and 40. So I got one kid here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 kids, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 people jumped more than 36 times. What I mean by saying one word could change that whole question. I could say how many people were able to one-legged jump 36 or more times. If I add that or in there, Then I would add those 2 kids who had 36. So I'm going to erase this question real quick. I'll type, let's just do 2 real quick. I'm going to type the question. I'm going to read it out loud. What I want you to really do is pause the video, take the time to count with your fingers, and see if you can get the answer. So let's say, how many people one leg jumped less than 34 times? So how many people one-legged jumped less than 34 times? Pause the video, look at your line plot, count, physically count with your finger, and see what you get. Double play, double play, double play, double play, double play. He's out. All right. So if you pause the video, figured out your answer, less than 34 times, that does not include 34. Because 34 is 34. Less than 34 is 33 and anything to the left of that line plot. So I'm looking at 33 down to 29. All you had to do was count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. If you got 15 for that answer, you did a great job. You read it correctly. Let me give you one more. Let's see if you paid attention to what I just said the first time. How many people one-legged jumped? This is when you might want to take your time and double check. 32 or more times. How many people one-legged jumped 32 or more times? Pause it and come back to it. All right. If you paused and you counted 32 or more, that includes 32. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. If you got 28, you counted correctly. And very similar to the bar graph, if this was right in front of you, it would be so easy for you to write a 1 right here, to write a 6 right here at the top, a 2, a 1. That way you didn't have to just actually count them. So I understand virtually it's a little bit harder, but just if you know, those all count for 1. And here's where in class we'd ask this question. We'd ask them how many pets they had. We'd plot our data. I'm just going to make these up real quick. Let's say we have 1 kid who has 0 pets. We've got 4 with 1 pet. We've got 3 with 2 pets. We've got 1 with 3. We've got 5 with 4 pets. Nobody has 5 pets, and we have 1 person who has 6 pets. So the first question I'm going to ask you, is this numerical or categorical data, and it's asking why? So look at our line plot, decide what you think it is, put that in your head. If you said it is numerical data, you are 100% correct. Now, just because you see numbers does not always mean it's going to be numerical. Whatever the answer would be to this question is what gives you that answer, or gives you that information. Number of pets. Think about what your answer could be. It's not asking what kind of pets you have. It wants to know how many you have. Downstairs, I got 1 pet. Boom, numerical data. But if it did ask what kind of pets, then it would be categorical. Now, with the coming up with the questions, I'm just going to come up with some real quick. Very similar to what we had. What if I asked how many people had less than 3 pets? Count that for me. So less than 3 would not include 3. That would either be people who had 2 pets, 1 pet, or no pets. Remember, all these X's represent 1 student. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That would have been 8 students. And then another question, this is how many students are in the class? So let's say I gathered this data from the class, and this was all of that data. How many students are in that class? I'm going to count while you count. All right, I got my answer. I'm going to double check. I got 15 the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So if you got 15, awesome job. And you could come up with 1,000 questions based off of that line plot and basically any line plot that we look at. So when we get into class, this is why I really wish you guys were here. Every student is going to get a bag of blocks. And the number of blocks in the bag, it varies. Some bags have up to 22 blocks, and some bags have as little as 17. So every bag has at least 17 blocks. So what the students are going to do, and some students are going to get 2 bags. What the students are going to do is they are going to open up their bags, they're going to count how many blocks they have, and they're going to build a tower as big as they can with both of their bags. And then what we're going to do is we're going to say how many blocks are in your bag. They're going to say 17. Okay, how many are in your bag? 20. And we're going to keep all track of all that data. And we're going to do it with tallies. Here I just put numbers because we're going to do it in class because we do have a frequency table. So what's going to happen is 4 people are going to have bags with 17. There's going to be 9 bags with 18, 3 bags with 19, and then the rest of the data you can see right here. So we can then take this frequency table, turn it into a bar graph, which we've done before, but we're actually going to take it and we're going to turn it into a line plot, which I have here. So I need to get this to where I can see both of those, which I've tried in a video before and struggled. Just crushed that. Crushed it. So we're going to take this data, we're going to put it here. We had 17 bags that had, we had 4 bags, 4 towers that have 17 blocks. So 1, that's not going to work, is it? Infinite cloner. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. For 18, we had 9. I wish I could fast forward. Do super speed. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Round of applause for me. We had 19, or I'm sorry, I keep saying the opposite number. We had 3 towers that had 19 blocks. We got 6 towers that have 20 blocks. 3, 4, 5, 6. We had 4 towers with 21 blocks. And 2 towers with 22 blocks. Now, before we move on, I want the people who watch these videos to be rewarded. Because guys, when I post these videos on YouTube for a reason. I like to look at my views. We have, I think, 17 or 18 kids who are week B. I don't really know what the number is. I know it's not a whole bunch, but I do expect there to be a certain amount of views. Like if I only had 10 views and I know there's 18 kids at home, I would know there's 8 people not watching that video. So here's the deal. If you are watching this video right now and you email me a question based off of this line plot. Now you can't use a question that I'm going to do because I'm going to give you some questions right now. But if you come up with a question of your own on this line plot and you email it to me once you are done watching this video, I will give you 100 tickets for your bank. That's a lot of tickets and I don't give out that many often. But if you prove to me that you watched this video, you email me a question, 100 tickets, no questions asked. But do not tell your classmates about this. I want to know who's watching and who's not. So if you're watching and you're going to get rewarded, I'm hoping to get some emails from some of you guys. If I get none and I've just been talking to a camera for the past week and a half, I will be devastated. God, I hope that doesn't happen. All right, so we've got all our data. I'm going to come up with 3 questions that I want you to answer. And then again, hopefully, maybe you will email me one. All right, so for number one, let me say, so I'll type all three at once. Once I type number one, you can start figuring that out while I'm typing 2 and 3. And if you need to pause as I'm going, if I go too fast, pause it. Ooh, it's a good one. All right. So again, if you need to pause the video, I don't want to give you the answers. I do want you to honestly take the time to see if you can figure these out. Number one says, how many towers had at least 21 blocks? So we've done questions like this already. It's worded a little bit differently. It's kind of like when, like if you go to an amusement park, go to Disney World, it says you have to be at least this tall to ride. That means if you're this tall, you're good. And anything higher, you're good. So if you're at least this tall, you're able to get on that ride. So at least 21 blocks means if you have 21, you're good. And anything beyond that, you're good. So I'm already going to look at 21 and 22. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would have been 6 towers that have at least 21 blocks. Number two, a little bit different. How many towers had less than 19 blocks? Less than 19 does not include 19 because 19 is 19. So we're looking at 18, we're looking at 17. 18's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 10, 11, 12, 13 towers had less than 19 blocks. And I tossed number 3 in there because we have seen these keywords, I think, in every single thing that we've done so far, including Fantastic Five. We've got to get into the habit of knowing all these keywords. It says how many more towers had 18 blocks than 21 blocks. Hopefully, we know we got to subtract something right there. We had 9 towers that had 18 blocks. We had 4 towers that had 21 blocks. And if you did 9 minus 4, that would have given you 5. So that's just a little bit more line plot practice on top of your Fantastic Five. Again, I really wish you guys were going to be in the classroom today because I like doing stuff that's more hands-on, which is really hard to do through a computer screen. But hopefully, if you were struggling with some line plot stuff, this was helpful to you. I do believe after this video, you've got an independent practice. Well, let's share the screen and let's figure it out. I need to. So I'm going to go to my Canvas. My announcements or my stuff's going to look a little bit different than yours. You're going to be watching this on Thursday. Oh, I don't even have it linked yet. I got it right here. So you're going to have a sheet to do after this, and you're going to have homework to do after this. And guys, the homework's not going to be much. So, but you can refer back to this video if you need any additional help. So look, tomorrow you are going to be reviewing everything that we've done so far this week: frequency table, bar graph, double bar graph, and line plots. Because when I see you on Monday, we're going to have a Jeopardy game and a quiz. See you tomorrow.